Hey folks, everything new under the sun. This is an article from Zero Hedge again. Hawaii electricity prices to skyrocket as final shipment of coal arrives. This is a couple of days ago that this happened, and I'm reporting on it now to warn you. And I think this is common knowledge for everybody who's paying attention. But to expect that electricity prices would stay the same with gasoline prices skyrocketing, ever increasing really with the increased tensions, and they're going to spike again with Taiwan China tensions increasing. If you thought they were going to stay the same, you'd be mistaken, and you'd likely be labeled a fool for believing that and not having your eyes wide open about what's coming. Hawaii is receiving its final shipment of coal this week. It says what he meant, he called it a huge step towards the state's transition to clean energy. What he meant was the locals are about to pay a lot more for basic essentials. A law put in place a couple of years ago will finally shut down the island's last coal-burning plant. And since coal is the dirtiest but cheapest source of power on Oahu, it means that all else equal, power prices are about to skyrocket. In its time, coal was an important resource for Hawaii, and I'd like to thank the workers who have run our last remaining coal plant. So they're getting rid of the cheapest energy source, and now they're going to much more expensive. Anything other than coal is more expensive to use for generation of electricity. So energy prices are going to go up. This is an image, and I was having a hard time finding a forecast or projection of energy prices. I'm sure it's out there, but I don't know if they're suppressing the speculation on the forecast for electricity. If you find one, let me know. This is from 2003 to 2013, and the blue line there is household electricity, and that's probably the one that you and I are most worried about. So that's over the span of 2003 to 2013, and you can guess that the graph is similar for 2013 to 2022 and beyond. It's going to be a hockey stick. It's going to be increasing very, very quickly, price per kilowatt hour. And these are the real electricity and gas price increases from 2013 to 2003 rather than 2013. So it will be increasing for all the reasons. Climate change was the first thing, and then COVID came along, and then war in Russia, and now it's going to be China, Taiwan. That's going to be the excuse for increased energy prices. And we haven't really seen it really in Canada too much. Prices increased a tiny bit. I believe an increase just went through where I am a tiny bit. But we haven't seen anywhere near like a 25%, 50%, the doubling of our prices for electricity like we have seen in gas, where now the prices went down a little, but it's still, 25, 30, 40% more than it was, say 6 months ago or 8 months ago. And so this is what you need to get ready for, because most of us haven't factored this in. Now, when you consider that this winter is coming, gas prices, natural gas, have skyrocketed in Europe. Short supply. They are consuming a lot of our natural gas and gasoline and petrol products. That means, again, supply and demand. Supply is going to be less here. Everybody is also moving to heat pumps because of the price. They don't want to pay for oil anymore, for old quote-unquote oil-burning furnaces. And that means there's going to be more demand on the electrical grid. And so the power companies are going to have to purchase more power. And this is all over the place. So that means supply and demand again. More demand, not as much, and same supply or even less supply because of the shutting down of these dirty plants, that create dirty energy, means that the price is going to, double, I would say. And come this winter, people are going to be shocked to find out that heating their house with electricity is going to be the same, as expensive as oil, if not more expensive. And everybody will have switched over, so there's no going back to oil. and this is gonna leave kind of a glut in the oil markets, even likely over time, where less people are shifting away from oil. So oil is going to start decreasing in price as again, supply and demand. More supply, less demand means prices will go down again. Something to be aware of, but the prices of both of those are going to continue to increase regardless over time. And so it's something to think about, and that's why I suggest looking for alternative energy. And if you have a stream, a river on your property, you can go to micro hydro, buy some solar panels. You can supplement your energy bill with that. And if you have to, you can go completely off grid. Set up a system, again, where if you absolutely have to, if you're in a pinch, you could cut off your power bill, shut off your main breaker to your house, and run your well pump and run some key lights or a freezer or something off solar. That's a goal you can set for yourself to attain for solar. Looking around, if you just Google, or in this case, DuckDuckGo, electricity prices, there's all sorts of news all over of increasing energy bills from U.S., Canada, Australia, all over. Now, this particular one is from Utah. All right. Are your electricity and natural gas bills going to skyrocket like those prices at the pump? Utility pledged to keep rates low, but they acknowledge Utah won't escape rising costs at home energy transitions to new sources. So there's a switch over time when everybody is kind of moving to electricity, but then they need batteries, they need solar panels. The price of those are going to skyrocket. If you wanted solar, now would be the time before people start realizing, and they're already realizing there's massive demand for solar. And so prices on solar equipment are going up as people realize, oops, oil and gas are getting expensive. I need to go to renewable now. And, the governments love it. People are panicking because people have to panic and are moving over to it as prices are very expensive. They can't afford it. And governments love that the price of old energy is basically killing us and taking large portions of our budget. Gasoline and diesel prices in Utah have been putting the pedal to the metal, but the electricity and heating costs have largely stayed home. That may be ending. Utah's residential electricity and natural gas rates probably are not going to shoot up like they have in some areas, but there's general consensus that we'll be paying more for home energy. So again, the idea of the electricity prices going to increase. Let's see. Hoefling said the Ukraine war challenges in getting pipeline permits and growing demand for U.S. gas are all driving higher natural gas prices. As a result, in June 2022, we filed with the Public Service Commission for approval to increase customer rates to around $57 per year for a typical residential customer to reflect the higher cost of gas. And again, this means electricity prices will increase. It says, as for electricity costs outside Rocky Mountain Service Area, Utah, let's see, Utah Associated Municipal Power Systems provides power to a number of city-owned systems in the state, but UAM spokesman Webb said each city sets its own rates based on a mix of energy sources. Thus, the impact on rates have been minimal to this point, and most members don't anticipate significant rate increases in the short term. It's hard to predict what's going to happen over the long term if I scroll up there. Basically, prices will be going up. As prices of natural gas and everything else go up, people will start switching, again, to heat pumps, electric heat maybe, and that means demand will increase, and the supply isn't necessarily increasing. That means prices will increase accordingly. Supply and demand. That's really the key to everything, and that doesn't even bring into effect, wars and rumors of wars, like the Bible says, in the last days, and because those ultimately those do affect the supply, because other countries then demand your supply of whatever it may be. And so supply and demand rules still take effect, and it means increasing electricity prices. So that's all I'm warning you about. This is going to increase. We're going to see shock and awe in electricity prices as we head into winter and overwinter, and it's going to make a lot of people very poor. It's going to stretch your budgets. You're not going to have money for food. You're going to be trying to heat your house. This is a big deal, and this is why you need to find alternative heat sources. And you know what the most green energy source is? The most climate change friendly energy source is? The most renewable one? It's wood. Burning with wood. Trees grow again. You can grow trees. And so it's one of the most easily renewable sources of energy on the planet if we just simply decided to manage it accordingly. So I'll leave there, guys. Thanks for watching. Be warned, be prepared. Electricity prices will skyrocket. Now is the time to get solar panels, solar inverters. All the prices on all those components are going to start skyrocketing as people start panicking and getting into solar to limit the exposure to the electrical grid prices that are coming down the pipe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.